Hi everyone, welcome back to my very windy garage today. I apologise if at any point it sounds like the door is trying to attack me. It's not, it's just our beautiful British weather. So this is just a quick end of year update video really, mainly to cover the gearbox. I said in the last video I wanted to get that done before Christmas. It's covered up so that you can't see if it's done or not. You'll find out at the end of this video if it was a success, but I want to get some paint on there, get the zinc plated parts, all the shiny bits fitted, and cover it with a coat of clear, and then that can go into storage and I can finally focus on the engine. I've got an engine lift from China, and it's very cheap and slightly worrying. I've got to do a few modifications to it before I'm going to let it anywhere near my very heavy Jaguar V12. One thing I need to do is source a new hook because I don't trust the one that's come with it. It's probably made of tin foil, new chain, and some new high tensile bolts because, again, I don't trust them. But I think the actual mechanism and frame will do the job. Again, I'll have to bench test the RAM before I let it anywhere near my car, but it was 150 quid. So you get what you pay for. I just thought if I need to modify it slightly, then that's fine. But once the gearbox is done, I can start moving the engine about, hopefully with my new engine lift, get it in position and do the same kind of process that I've done on the gearbox on the engine. Oh, just one slightly sad update with the engine. This cylinder head bolt, that's the right way around, isn't it? Yes, cylinder head bolt is staying in place. I did actually get a what do you call it, insert kit for the damaged nut that I removed, and I drilled it all out perfectly, cut the thread perfectly, and then was ready to put the insert in, and for some stupid reason I thought I'd try and tap out the thread a little bit deeper, and then I snapped the thread in the nut. So that was that. It happens. It was 25 quid for the kit, so I was pretty pissed off at myself, especially as I'd done a great job up until that point. But once you snap the tap in there, it was like, it's game over. So the whole lot went in the bin. So that odd cylinder head nut will be staying, which will piss me off forever and ever. But you can't see it, I know. I'll get over it in a few years. So as per usual, this video is made up of random bits and pieces that I filmed over the last, it's only been 2 weeks this time, so there's not so much to get through. In a previous video, I'd put epoxy primer on the gearbox and then some, what's it called, selenite grey, Mercedes selenite grey from a rattle can. I was very happy with how it looked, but there was a little imperfection, and so I cocked it all up and ended up having to start all over again, bare metaling the gearbox again. Then I put epoxy primer on it, and that's where it was left at the last time you guys saw it. So this time I did actually make the effort to go down to my local paint shop, and they made me up a tin of that Mercedes selenite grey. So up next is a little montage of me painting the gearbox with the gun, this time with that Mercedes selenite grey for the second time. Let's get these bits that I zinc plated the other day back on the painted gearbox. I've made a decision which I may regret. I'm going to fit all the zinc plated parts and then give it a coat of clear. I know the zinc plating does its zinc plating thing, but I think it'll still wear quite quickly, and I think if I can just give it that protective coat. Same with this is being polished up as best I can, and this is bare metalled as well because this had a load of rust and corrosion around it. I think if it just all gets a fine coat of, well, this needs quite a thick coat of clear, same as this, but I've had mixed results spraying clear onto polished metal. These bolt heads as well, they've been zinc plated. These are the ones I was concerned about with the tensile strength. I'm just going to fit them for now. I want to get this done before Christmas. If I need to replace them later, I can. Anyway, what was I doing? I was tightening up this selector. I have to knock it over to its furthest point. Torqued. What's next? Let's pop these speed sensors in. So they're the same, by the way. Oh, that's it. I want to put a little bit of tape. Try and be as minimalist with the tape as possible. And let's do it like that. Go on, get in. There we go. There, I've just manipulated that a bit. That's much better. That's now sitting in that little locator thing. It's not really going to serve any particular purpose, but it's obviously how it should be, so we'll do a proper job. There we go. Make sure it's... see, now it's splayed out. Now it's tightened. That needs a little bit more manipulation. There. That's how I want it. I just had to, I think when I've been wire brushing, I'd probably bent this out this way a little bit. So I just manipulated it back that way. And then that tucks nicely in there. That's how it should be. This one's sticking out a little bit. So I'm just going to take that off and do the same with that one. There we go. I had to take that one off just to faff with it. Managed to get that lined up there. Still a little bit of a kink here, but that's fine. I can live with that. Hopefully when I tighten this up, that's not going to splay out again. There. Right. They're both good. That's tight. Now for this bracket, that goes on like that. Should have a little nut here, which we do. Obviously, it's probably going to have to be loosened off again when I come to fit the cable, because I probably won't be able to get it around there. Probably have to just nip that off and then locate the cable and then tighten it up, but we can do that later. That's on. Now then, this issue. When I looked back at my zinc plating video, I made a lovely job of plating one of these, and there should be two quite clearly. And this holds on, like I said, that main bracket that's still on the gear selector cable. I'm just going to pop them in like that so that I don't get clear up in the threads, but the head just gets a nice coating just to seal it in. But as you can see, I'm missing one. I had a bit of a panic and figured I'd probably lost it. And then I had a little moment where I remembered I was faffing about with the water pump the other day, and in the water pump bag was a random bolt that I couldn't figure out where on earth it had come from. So obviously I put two and two together, and I went in the water pump bag of bits, and sure enough, there is the cheeky bastard. I know it's exactly the same one because it's got the same markings on. Obviously it's the right one. So I need to zinc plate that before I can put it in here and finish this job off, which is rather annoying. But I've got some other zinc plating to do as well. So let's get these prepped and get them zinc plated. Then I can get that on there. And then this is completely ready for a coat of clear. So I'm not going to go through the whole zinc plating process again in this video. You want to see that, just watch my last video. But there it is, all shiny and fitted, ready. Now, truth be told, I'm fairly terrible at remembering to take before and after kind of videos. I managed to dig around in my Dropbox library of stuff and find these random shots that I must have taken midway through cleaning the gearbox. So at least that shows how grubby and standard it was. This is how most gearboxes look. I did manage to find a couple of pictures as well, which I'll drop in now. And then I'm going to find the most epic cinematic bit of music I can find in this terrible, by the way, video editing software. And I'm going to put together a montage of how the gearbox is now after it's had a coat of clear. Right. I think that's quite enough of that nonsense. I wonder if anyone else has ever put classical music to a gearbox before. Probably not. I reckon that's a first. Anyway, I think you get the general idea. I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. It's all lovely and shiny, which is the main aim of everything I do in here. Even that bare metal bit at the back, that came out pretty well. It has lost 2.97% of its shine, but... and I know it doesn't matter because you're never going to see it once it's refitted, blah, blah, blah. I know it'll stay like that now. Whereas if I'd left it just polished bare metal, give it a year or so, and it would have been all dull and crusty and white again. And the other side, that's a big lump. I can't lift this, by the way, even without the torque converter in. It is heavy. The other side as well looks splendid. Very happy with how my... I don't think I talked about this really. I had to drill this out. It's riveted on. And obviously that left me with a hole. And I filled it with a nail head. And I think it's worked out pretty well. You can't really tell. So happy with that. These I haven't clear coated, by the way, because they will need to be adjusted and then fixed in position when the transmission cooler pipes are fitted. I don't know the exact angle that they need to be at the minute. I think that one goes like that and that one goes like that. So I didn't bother clear coating them because obviously it'll just get scratched off when I have to adjust them. I also refitted the breather line. I assume that's what it is. And I cable tied it to this bracket just so that it sits nice and flat and it's not all flapping about. I haven't forgotten, by the way, that I need to do the sump. Same as the engine sump. At the moment, I'm using them to rest the engine and the gearbox on. So if I paint them and clear coat them, they're only going to get all scratched up and knackered again. So that'd be a waste of time. At some point, I'm going to build a kind of engine frame to hold the engine and gearbox in place while I rebuild it outside of the car, check everything's as it should be before it goes in the car. So once I've got that done, I might take the sumps off at that point and give them a coat of paint. It's just going to get done a nice metallic black, basically. So you just have to use your imagination there. Remove that bit of masking tape, and it's a nice deep black. Oh, with all that done, there's only one thing left to do. That's a good noise, and that's to it's Christmas. Have ourselves a midweek afternoon Christmas drink. Oh, that's good. Well, I hope you have a lovely Christmas. A really good New Year. See you next year. Where hopefully put all of this back together and drive the car again. We'll see.